Okay. So our point number 5 is buyback inventory. And this makes sense. I don't know that I've really heard about this, but you were talking to me about it with the concrete contractor. Is that right?
No, he's a flooring guy,
Okay,
but I think
flooring.
it'll apply to a lot of different contractors. It wasn't my idea. I was surprised when we were looking for ideas, and this is one he implements. Leveling concrete, sand, quickcrete, grout, bags of supplies that they haul to a job. There's more than that, caulking, caulking guns, all that. It's a lot easier at the end of the job just throw that in a dumpster
Right.
than it is to load it up, bring it back. Well, he's got a program where he buys it back. They bring the material back. I mean, if a bag of Quickcrete costs $8, he gives them $1, but they get extra money. The job gets cleaned up, and he has the material he paid $1 for it instead of 8. And
Hmm.
you can argue, as I'm sure listeners, bring the damn stuff back anyway. It's part of your job. Okay, well, make sure they do, right?
Yeah.
I just thought it was a good idea. And that's not theory. He's doing that. And, he didn't tell me how many millions he saved, but he said he's still doing it.
Wow.
He pays cash for it.
No, I think just squeezing as much as you can out of your inventory is great there, and not having your cash tied up as well in inventory there, because he's not only just saving the expense there of having to buy new material at the $8 per bag, right? But he's also not having $7 tied up in inventory. He's having $1 tied up in
Right.
inventory.
Yeah.
So more cash savings there as well. Okay. So number 6, setting clear labor hours in bids. Um, how common is this practice? I don't do much with bidding, but never seen that.
Well, first of all, if you're bidding a job as the owner or uh, the, the estimator, you're going to come up with the hours required in the job. That's you.
Right.
If not, then you got some places to work on, but you're coming up with some standard that you think
Sure.
the guy should be able to do it in this amount of time. Well, it's very common that somebody comes up with a requirement, but they don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
So the
exactly.
guys out on the job don't even know what's expected of them. And so when you bring those two together, uh, I have quite a few contractors who do that. Uh, when the guys know what the job, hey, we've got 300 man hours allotted to this job. And the estimator has an opportunity to learn that somebody comes back and says, are you crazy? We can't do that in 300 hours. Well, at least there's some discussion there.
Right.
And the guys are responsible for getting it done on time. They deserve to know what's expected of them. If you're over there thinking they're going to do it in 100 hours and the seasoned foreman's out there looking and going, man, this is a 350-hour job, you're not on the same page.
Yeah.
So both of you have an opportunity to adjust if you set the hours and make them known. The other thing that people do is offer guys the opportunity. So you have a fixed labor budget for a job and you say it's going to take 100 hours. If they can do it in 90 hours, you pay them the full amount for the job. You say,
Mm.
well, why would I do that? I'm giving away what I could have made. He said, yeah, but you're controlling cost overruns, which are way more common. And two, once again, you will have freed up 10 hours, in my example, of time for your guys that they can go do more work, right?
Yeah, because you're basically double dipping there.
Yeah,
If you're putting them on another job, you're profiting from both, which is great, but you should
right,
also reward your team
right,
in that respect as well.
right.
It's almost like the pay for performance at that level.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not mathematically, it doesn't work out quite the same way as if you pay everybody the bid amount every time, you're not going to save 1%. But the problem is that the observed actual labor is almost always significantly higher than the bid labor. And so you think you're paying the same, but you're actually paying less because people had incentives to get the job done more quickly and make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Or if you find another job for them, make more money.
Yeah.
So anyway, it works. It works.
Okay, so number 6 is set clear labor hours in your bids. Let's go to number 7, change orders. Let's talk about change orders. Um, where do you see people going wrong with change orders? Let's start there.
I don't know anybody who uses change order.
Okay.
That's kinda true, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
everybody talks about change orders, but maybe it's just the folks I run with, um, or handshake change orders, you know?
mhm.
Yeah, we'll do that,
I feel like
but
it's usually a concession more than a change order,
that's
right? You know what I mean?
I see your point, yeah,
Yeah, just, "Oh, sure, we'll do that," or, "Yeah, we can make that happen," and nothing changes. Um, okay, so
except the scope.
the scope changes, but nothing else changes.
Yeah.
Uh, so so what do you recommend in terms of change orders?
Well, change orders need to be, um, have adequate information, what the date was, what describe the project that you're changing. You
Mhm.
price the project that is changing. Any terms, like do they have to pay it down before you go buy custom stuff, things like that. Uh, the effect of the change on the timeline. In other words, if they now
Right.
want shutters on all their windows, that's going to add a week because you got to go get the shutters, make them
Yep.
whatever it is. So you need that information, and it needs to be in writing, and it needs to be signed. And that's where a lot of it is a hiccup because you're talking with a customer on the phone and they want to extend the patio or do whatever it is they want changed that they've decided. Well, somehow you got to go. We have DocuSign now, but
Yeah.
somehow you got to go get that signed. And the big effect of it is people don't remember what you said early on. A project that's taken 3 weeks, a month, and you started out adding 35 square feet of concrete to the patio. You don't even remember it, but you're going to get the bill for it, right? So if you want to increase margins, change orders, signed, documented, fully fleshed out change orders are huge. You wouldn't find a big, hugely successful company anywhere that's going to let you make any scope changes without signed, probably have board approval from the customer. We will pay this, right?
Right.
So it's an
Well,
important step.
it is, and I think another area that can go wrong with the change orders is not charging a premium for them. I think it's important that if the scope of work changes, it not only changes what you're doing that day, but it kind of ruins plans. If you're gonna be there for an extra week, that changes what you have to do with the other job. It means you may lose the other job. I mean, there's a
Right.
level of risk that you're incurring
Yeah, it's
for that
disruptive.
change order. And so you need to charge a premium for it, almost like you would charge overtime hours for it. And a lot of times that may impact where they don't do the change order. And that's great. That means that you're still going to be profitable the way that they said, you know? But also, you're under contract. If you're doing drywall and you're on contract to do the job and then they make a change and, yeah, well, we're charging at a premium. It's not like they're really just gonna go find another drywall contractor to come do that one piece. They're gonna negotiate with you, and you probably just need to stick to your guns as much as possible, where and say, "Hey, like, we don't have to do this change order. We've got plans here that we can still complete at that price, but if we do this change order, this is
Yeah.
what it will cost." So, I think that's probably an area that if you're not really strict on change orders and adhering to the scope of work and documenting everything, if you implement a change order process for your team, that can go a long way, in
Yeah.
increasing your profit.